Hi, it's David from Life with Parkinson. If you're new here, welcome. We hope you'll consider subscribing. And please check out our website at lifewithparkinsons.ca for more information about this channel and our sponsors. For everyone else, thank you for keeping up with all of our episodes and supporting this channel. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to interacting with you every week. I may get a little bit of pushback on this video, and that's okay. It's based solely on my opinions and my interactions largely with you guys. If you disagree with me, that's okay. Leave me a comment and we can chat about it. I'm okay with that. I just feel this topic is so important to talk about because sometimes along our Parkinson's journey, I know all of us will experience the situation where our treatment options fell short of our expectations. And then what do we do? How do we deal with it? How do we come to terms with it? And that's what this video is about. Treatment options fall short of our expectations. We may have set our expectations too high, or we might have set our desperation levels too high. And maybe, please don't shoot the messenger, we may have forgotten how to apply and gauge our happiness. Do we have our expectations set too high? Get your hands up, playing my song, the butterflies fly away. Hey, hey, hey. Our expectations may be set too high. Woo! When I set my expectations too high, I just kind of envision the future a little bit. Like there'll be a quick return to health. Like I'll just be better, back to the way I was before whatever injury or incident occurred, and then everything will go away and I'll be okay. But it doesn't always turn out that way. Haley and I are no strangers to this situation. With her endometriosis, she has suffered countless surgeries, endured countless treatments, and many times we've just put our trust in her doctors and we just got literally just punched in the head a few times. The worst situation was when they said, please don't come back. Okay, they told her not to come back because they can't help her. And then a few years later on Haley's birthday, this specialist calls out of the blue and says, I think I've got a solution for you. Would you like to come in and see me? And we're like, okay, maybe it's something new. But when we got there, the doctor said, I didn't read your file when I called you. I actually can't help you. Sorry for dragging you in. I mean, that was just devastating in so many ways. We faced another situation similar to this in 2006 when I fell off a ladder at work. I had 3 surgeries to fix my right foot after falling 10 to 12 feet in the air and landing on it. I was like, okay, when I get these operations done over with, I'm going to be back to who I was. And it just wasn't the case. Things are very different. I had to be careful with my foot all these years, and somehow I've made it this far okay. But when we do that, we just fall into a pit. We can't set ourselves up for disaster like that. We have to be more careful. It just seems that the higher we set our expectations, further we have to fall. Have we set our desperation levels too high? I just want you to know we understand the desperation that you guys are feeling. I've been in my neurologist's office crying. I've been there lying on the couch, too depressed to get up. Sometimes when I went to bed, I would be like, is there any point in waking up tomorrow? Because I don't feel I'm very useful to my family or society anymore. I just feel I have nothing to do at all tomorrow. So it'd be better just to sleep the day away. Over the last few months, I've spoken to a few of you on the phone, and the desperation levels come in loud and clear. Just a little while ago, I spoke to a couple who were needing help finding someone to build them a pair of the homemade Parkinson's gloves. And their situation was just so heart-wrenching and gut-wrenching that after I got off the phone with them, I quickly ended up crying for like 15-20 minutes just because the hurt, the anger, the grief, and the suffering is just so real. It just touched me deep inside. I just wish I could take Parkinson's away from all of us. I wish I could do something to help everyone out there with Parkinson's. I believe our high expectations can turn into desperation because we give our trust away so easily. We give our trust to people we don't really know, and we just rely on their training and for the tools that they have. But that's the problem. From what we've found and from talking to other people with Parkinson's, not all of the healthcare professionals out there have all the tools that they need to help us. And believe me, that is not a knock against the healthcare system. Yeah, I'm very grateful that these medical professionals, doctors and nurses, spend all this time and all this money to get medical training. because I need my diagnosis. I need my L-Dopa pills every day. I'd be lost without them. My point is, it's similar to when I lost my rescue medication. My doctor just basically said, I have no other options. You're basically on your own. And just getting tossed aside like that can hurt so badly. We just get tossed aside by the medical system just the way my wife did. I mean, it's horrifying. That's where the desperation levels get so high. We just feel we have no other options. And that's why I believe we need to become the biggest advocates for our health in our healthcare system today. The waiting lists are so high and we need more trained professionals. We need to advocate for ourselves, do our research ourselves, and find something, anything at all that can help us. And that's why this channel is here. From my experience, I just feel that the doctors don't have any remedies except drug-related ones and deep brain stimulation at the moment. You know, they're not up on all the new stuff, and they probably don't have time to research it all because of their gigantic waiting lists. If they stopped working and seeing patients and started doing research, I mean, all those poor people on the waiting list wouldn't get any help. So I definitely want them to get the help that they need. Another problem that the high expectations can cause, I believe, is the urge just to run from treatment to treatment to treatment to treatment without giving the time for them to work, without understanding them fully, and sometimes putting things into our bodies that we shouldn't. We need to somehow calm that down and make sure that what we're looking at as potential is real and has at least been peer-reviewed and trialed. We need to make sure that the evidence is there before we run into this new silver bullet that's going to solve all of our problems. A lot of the times I found from talking to other people out there is that it was just a bunch of snake oil and a bunch of lies. How do you measure and apply your happiness? Okay, this is the danger section. Alert, alert, alert! Just remember, don't shoot the messenger. These are my thoughts based on my experience and coupled with a lot of interaction with you guys, which I really appreciate. The author Mark Twain once said, to cheer yourself up, what did he say? Mark Twain once said, the best way to cheer yourself up is to cheer somebody else up. And you know, when I think about that related to Parkinson's, I really feel that it actually is a good thing to do. Because with Parkinson's disease, we get so focused on ourselves, we get so focused on our problems. Because when we wake up, the Parkinson's is there. When we go to the bathroom, the Parkinson's is there. When we try to get something to eat, the Parkinson's is there. It's there all the time, even in our dreams. And we just become so micro-focused on it, we forget, well, I know I do. I don't want to speak for everybody else out there. But sometimes I forget about the other people in my life. And it's not because I'm selfish. Well, sometimes I am, but it's not because I don't care about other people. It's just we get so overwhelmed with our illness and our conditions that sometimes seeing the bigger picture out there is so difficult. And that's why I love this quote, because it just reminds us that, hey, maybe today we can do something for someone else if we haven't done that already. I think Mark Twain had a really good point there. But many of you say, Dave, Parkinson's has taken my ability to do things for other people totally away. Well, there's always a text message, an email, a phone call. It doesn't take much time to do. And maybe if that's all you can do what you can do. Maybe that's a good place to start. And I just want you to know, I'm not just preaching to the choir here. You know, this affects me as well. When I read that quote, it was like, whoa, you know, have I done that? Have I forgotten about other people? Well, if I have, I hope they tell me, because that would just be a terrible thing to do. One way I think, oh, look at my hair. That was by accident. Another way I think about Parkinson's disease is when we sit down on a park bench and then someone sits down by us too close, right? We kind of shuffle away. We can just think of that person as Parkinson's disease sitting down next to us. So we kind of shuffle away. And then the Parkinson's moves closer, so we shuffle away. And it moves closer and we shuffle away until we eventually fall off the bench. And that's when we become lost in the desperation and the expectations. We somehow have to stay ahead of it. I just believe more and more and more as I progress into this illness that if we let our symptom levels dictate our happiness to ourselves, we're going to become totally lost in it and become totally self-centered and self-focused on our disease. And that's what's going to cut us off from everyone. I hate to say it's kind of like a positive mental attitude, but in some ways it is. Because if we're letting our symptoms dictate our happiness, I don't think we're ever going to feel positive at all or ever have a good day at all. Because our symptoms are there every day. So somehow we have to distract ourselves from them. I have to accept the fact in my life that I can't reverse my Parkinson's. I have to accept the fact that in my life I can't bring my son back. I have to accept the fact in my life that one day this illness is probably going to overwhelm me. And that's something I don't want to accept at all. My hope is that each of you can find someone in your life to deal with the symptoms and deal with the anger, the grief, the hurt, and the loss, and find some comfortable space. That really is my hope for you guys. If you are having bigger problems than that, I really encourage you to reach out to your Parkinson's Society. I really encourage you to reach out to a friend, a family member, one of your healthcare professionals so you can get the extra help that you need. You know, our mental health is very important in this illness. Okay, that's the hard part over. Okay, one fun part is I had to ask Google how to stay happy just to see what it would tell me. And it brought up this article about 27 different ways to stay happy. And you can do them on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, a monthly basis, and a yearly basis. So I've put a link in the description below for this article, and give it a quick read. I found it very helpful. And now somewhere around here, the link should be coming up to the video about my son, Extreme Grief and Parkinson's. Once you're done here, I encourage you to go check that out. Well, do you agree or disagree with the concepts and ideas in this video? And just remember, they're my thoughts and opinions, but I'm also willing to talk about them with you, no problem. Thank you for continuing to watch and support this channel, and let's continue to take this journey of Parkinson's together. I'll see you on the next one. Have a good day. Goodbye.